Good afternoon to all. I hope you're all enjoying your day so far. My firstborn actually got her first job ever, and I am so excited, so proud, and so terrified all at the same time. She, on the other hand, is over the moon, because it's a little step and a little sign of independence, but I'm just terrified. Again, mixed emotions. But I'm excited to see her make that step, and to see what comes. She was telling me that when they were going over everything, like signing paperwork and all that stuff, there was also someone who had also gotten hired, and is this person's around the same age as she is, and she actually used to go to middle school with this person. And so she said that they were explaining something to them, and like talking about filling out your taxes and reporting and all this stuff, and that the young lady said, okay, do you have your information for your bank account so you could set up direct deposit for your for your payments, so when you get paid. And she said the young lady like stepped out of the room or whatever and was letting them fill out the paperwork, and the young man just looked over at her and was like, you have an account? And he was like, I don't have an account, I don't have a bank account. Should I get one? Is that a good thing to have? And she was like, yeah, I have a bank account. Yes, you should get one. And she came home and she was telling me that, and it really made me think of one of my most favorite things I've done as a mom, is that I had the kids, 3 of the kids so far, get a bank account on their 10th birthday. I think Isali or Isaiah did it on the 12th, but most of them has been 10 and above, for them to have their own bank account, a savings account. And the reason why I thought about this was because my mom had a savings account for me when I was young, and she had it out of her credit union. And when I started working at the age of 15, the first thing she told me was, you have your account that I've been putting money to throughout the years, but now that you have your little job, I want you to go ahead and take out some of your money and put it there for your savings. And I started doing that at 15, And when I was ready to move here to Florida at 19, I remember my mom going with me and, saying, okay, you could go ahead and take out the money you have there. And that's how I was able to purchase my first car when I got here on my own. So I really thought it important that my mom prepared me and, just kind of exposed me to having a bank account, to go in there weekly or, every 2 weeks and making a deposit, filling out a deposit slip. I just felt that that was really helpful for me. And when I came here to Florida when I was 19 years old, I felt like, okay, I know what it is to deal with banks and fees and this and that, because my mom had prepared me. So I thought it really important to actually pass that on to the kids and do it with them. So what I did, like I said, I have them set up savings account. They're all under my account, of course. And I teach them exactly that. Whatever they get, whether it be Christmas money, birthday money, whatever it is, I always have a rule that you have to put half of what you've been given away in your savings account. And no one has ever had a problem with that, because again, I made it the norm. Whatever you get, they usually come up to me and say, here, hey mom, I have to go deposit this week, this is what I got. And then they're able to spend the other half. The one that loves it the most really is Ili. She's the best with her money. She usually has the most. And it's taught him so many different things. First of all, how to go inside, and speak to a teller and tell them, I want to deposit this, how to fill out a form, how to keep in mind what they're spending. Usually if we're at a store and they want something and they go, Mom, I want that. And I'm like, okay, you have money. You're going to go ahead and get that. They're like, maybe I don't really need it that much. I'm like, yeah, because when it's your money, it's completely different than when mom is getting it for you. So it kind of helps them with that money management, which is something, of course, that is not taught in school. These life lessons are, shouldn't be left up to the school to kind of teach. It should be us as parents teaching them. I've always, Woody Solis has been the main one. I actually, when I do my budget, I would sit her down with me and say, okay, this is how much, I'm very open as to my finances. Especially when I was a single mom of 3. She was the oldest, and she was my every, you know, my everything, my backup, my, you know, the person I spoke to. So I would tell her, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this, but we gotta get this, and we gotta buy food, and we gotta figure this out. And I would show her exactly, this is how much I have, and these are the bills that we have to pay. And she would go ahead and do the budget for me and fill it out, and so she could be aware. This is real life. You know, this is what life is. She's going to have to do that when she's an adult. So she's been doing that since an early age. So she knows the concept of money, you know. And then having her set up a bank account was just something that just took on from there. And you know, it has been such a good experience. And now, as soon as she got the job, like literally walking out of the interview, she was like, "Mom, you know," because she used to have a savings account. Then once she turned 16, we switched it over to a checkings account. And she was like, "Mom, now I want to go ahead and put a savings account because I want to set it up the same way you did. You know, where as soon as you got paid, it automatically took out a certain amount and transferred it over to the savings." And I was like, "Goodness gracious, she's been listening." That's like one of those moments that you're like, "Goodness, I did good." That part, at least, I did good. Because she's, you know, she's aware. She knows, okay, I have my checkings now. I have to have my savings. I have to, you know, whatever comes out of, I can put some away. And that just really made me feel like, wow, this is one of my favorite things. And it's taught them, like I said, it's so much that is given as to how I show them or teach them about money. The kids buy each other gifts for Christmas. They always have. And what I do is, we budget. How much do you have in your savings account? How much are you going to spend on each person? Okay, let's go take out the money. And then I take them individually to go buy the presents for the other family members. That gives me one-on-one time right there, which is my number one thing as a mother. And again, it's helping them manage. Okay, this is how much you have. This is how much you're going to take out, and this is how much is going to be left. So that helps them kind of see it that way as well. For field trips, if it's, even for that, they're like, "Okay, Mom, you know what? I want to go to these 3 different field trips. You know, can you get one? And I have enough money to get this one." Birthdays, they have, and they usually take out of their account, and they, that's how they spend their money. So I'm proud. I'm really proud of Iselisse, because she told me, she looked at that boy like, "Why don't you have a bank account? Like, of course you should get a bank account. You can have a direct deposit." Like, she was explaining it to the boy. And I was like, that's my child. I was like, that is so my child. But I definitely wanted to share that tip with you guys, because I don't know if it's something that's thought of much of, but it has been so helpful for me in helping them to teach them about money, which I think is very important, because then they come out here in the world and they're going to use credit cards and do all these other stuff that is just going to get them into debt. My next step now with Isa is to actually get her a credit card and start, helping her. And she's very aware of credit and how you have to take care of your credit, how you build your credit. Again, this is something that I have spoken to her throughout her life, so she knows that. So now that is my next step, to put that into play and see how she handles that, or what I need to help her before she goes away to college and she's on her own, doing those things. I just want to kind of expose her and teach it to her before. And I definitely think this is helpful. So I hope this is something that would be helpful to you guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.